Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Last Things Last podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Myers, joined by my co-host, MJ Niscoda.
I consent.
And our special guest, he's been on before, Anthony Cole. Say hi to the listeners, guys.
Hola. What an extra special guest this is.
Justin, I hate you so much.
Oh, crap. I almost hit leave meeting. But you guys don't like that too much.
All right, so today, last week we talked about the coronavirus and its impact on the sports world that is still taking its toll on people all across. Boys, what's the updated totals for your states? Mine is now up to 336 people. What do you got in Pennsylvania, boys?
98?
I don't believe it's real.
I don't believe it's real.
I think it's 98.
98?
I think so.
What about the state for lovers, MJ?
I haven't left this building, so I don't know. I literally have not left my house. Oh, that is a lie. That is a lie. I've gone on walks within a mile of the apartment, but I have not gone anywhere since Monday.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Are we all working from home currently?
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Monday, yes.
Well, so they cut down the hours, and then today they were like, yeah, you should all work from home. Pennsylvania has 268. Anthony, you were off by a lot.
Well, again, I haven't really looked at the news.
Virginia has 94.
But that's you got to add DC into that too.
Oh, true.
Plus 40 from DC.
71 in DC.
Or 71, yeah. I don't know. I'm not leaving my house. I have enough food and whiskey to last me at least a month. So I don't care.
Plus, grocery store delivery / pickup. I should have been using that before this happened.
No, so that's what's wrong with this country right there. That is meant for pandemic times. You can get off your fat rear end and go in and buy.
I haven't done it.
I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you. I'm saying people are going to keep using that after this is over. Unless you're elderly, handicapped, yes, someone should bring your groceries to you. But if you're a willing or able-bodied human, get off your butt and go in the grocery store. That's ridiculous.
So, boys, just so we're following the same thing here, I have the 2020 NFL free agency tracker from ESPN up. So if we could all pull that up, we can just kind of go through these here.
Hold on 1 second.
It kind of gives us a good look at everything that's happened. There's been a lot going on in the NFL during this pandemic season here. The XFL, by the way, officially ceased operations today. So all players are eligible to be signed by an NFL team in 3 days. So
Kev, the thing you're
PJ
looking
Walker,
at,
the Steelers are ready for you.
Kev, the thing you're looking at, does that start with March 20th at the top?
It does.
Okay, I'm looking at the right thing. Okay.
Yep. And then the veteran Vikings. Yeah. But yeah, so let's start right there with that. The Minnesota Vikings, the veteran defensive end Everson Griffin leaves. There hasn't really been much going on in Minnesota, but what kind of needs do we think that this team needs going forward?
Actually, no, they're not that bad.
The Vikings need cap space. That's what they need.
No, but they're not bad. Look how far they made it last year. Honestly,
they're always in the mix.
I think Diggs.
They'll need a wide receiver.
No, Diggs wasn't that big of a loss. No, he was not that big of a loss. I'm sorry.
He's that big of a gain for Buffalo, though.
But I feel like he is because I don't think Adam Thielen's good without – I think Adam Thielen is much like Juju in the fact that he's not a one, you know? Like, I don't know if Adam Thielen by himself can
First of all, Adam Thielen and Juju Smith-Schuster are both ones. Adam Thielen's problem is he gets hurt all the time.
And Juju's is that he's not a one.
You know why he gets hurt all the time? Because you draft him on your fantasy team, and everybody you draft ends up breaking by week 4.
I got Juju too, and he got hurt.
Yeah,
I traded him to you. I traded you Juju, and then he got hurt.
Then you traded him to me, and yeah. No, but the Vikings, they just need Kirk Cousins.
I think some of it's deserved. I mean, they needed to buy a quarterback at this point.
Yeah, but that one
they'll need wide receiver depth still now that they got rid of Diggs.
Yeah, but they can get with the first round pick they got.
Another.
They could, but the draft is so receiver heavy that they can pick up anything they need, especially with a first round pick.
Oh, they'll get somebody good. Yeah. I even think there will be good receivers left in the second round that are going to be really nice for the taking here.
I mean, pass rush they'll still need too, though. With losing Griffin, I feel, and I mean, Griffin was he the one that went like AWOL last year and had like crazy 2 weeks and then randomly came back, like just like nothing happened, and no one talked about it anymore.
Like
Although
he showed up.
Griffin's
Did he
been
show up
here-
at his like teammate's house?
Yeah,
like, banging on the door or something like that.
Yeah,
he's
making,
been
like,
there
weird-
for 10 seasons. He was drafted by them in 2010. So the Denver Broncos, people out here in Denver are pretty happy. They've got ex-Chargers running back Melvin Gordon, who purposely decided to go to the Broncos over other interested parties because he, quote, wanted to play against the Chargers. So there's some bad blood there. Melvin Gordon going here, I think this makes a really nice two-headed monster for this team with him and Philip Lindsay. Both speed backs, both guys that can catch the ball out of the backfield. Very athletic. However, they haven't done enough. That's really all they've done so far. Joe Flacco failed his physical, so he's been waived. So it's Drew Lock season for sure. But other than them just getting Melvin Gordon, the grade ESPN gave them is a D+.
Which I completely agree with. I think that's way too much money for Melvin Gordon. If the Chargers weren't willing to pay him, why are you guys all of a sudden willing to pay him? You just it says 2-year deal, but that's $13 million for a year. That's exactly what they just paid him. I think that's way too much money with the way running backs are being treated in the NFL now.
But I think that these guys are going to go to that two-back set. I mean, they were running a two-back set last year. So, I mean, it's not going to be like this guy's going to get pounded every time he's on the field. And I think he got more looks when he was before Eckler really poured on the scene in Los Angeles. He was the main guy. So I don't know. You're right. It depends on how they use him.
I think the Broncos are a moribund of a franchise. I mean,
You love that
literally,
word.
like you said, they've literally done nothing. They had the chance to trade Chris Harris Jr. last year. They didn't. They let him walk. They had, it's John Elway. Is this an issue?
Yes,
I
he's a
think
big
I think
issue.
Melvin. I think they could have done this if they really wanted a two-back set. They could have done this in a cheaper way. I agree with MJ. That's too much money. I think Melvin Gordon's contract and now demands are going to take carries away from Philip Lindsay, which he should be getting the bulk, if not all, because he's that good. I think he can become an elite running back.
He is a really good running back. He's
But
been great in fantasy.
I don't think this helps the Broncos in any way. I think this hurts them more.
I don't know if it hurts them. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
if
Melvin Gordon's not going to hurt your franchise.
Yeah, I don't know if it hurts to have a
But
guy
he is.
like that.
He proves if he's unhappy, he's going to sit out, and he cost the Chargers games. And then when he came back, he wasn't effective at all.
I think it hurts you in cap, like in the fact that you could literally run a two-headed monster without paying that much at running back and still have enough cap room to sign other players. Where now you're kind of in cap hell.
Well, from what I'm seeing,
something-
there are rumors that the Broncos are one of the teams really vying for PJ Walker to come in and be the backup behind Drew Lock, or end up being the starter if Lock gets shaky. So, I mean, they're not going to need a ton of money to get him, but it's one of those.
Yeah, they're not spending
you're
money
right.
at quarterback. I guess,
But there's so many
free
free agent quarterbacks. Why would you even need to do that? Like, there's so many guys that need. This is the perfect year because there's so many free agent quarterbacks that would play for prove-it deals. Like prove your worth. Like look at Tannehill. Prove your worth your extension.
That's what I want, and we'll talk about that when we get to Pittsburgh. But like that's what I wanted the Steelers to do because our backup situation is straight up trash.
Guess who put money on the Steelers to sign Jameis Winston? This guy.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out.
Oh, dude, if they do, I'm gonna be a happy man.
Dude, he got LASIK. He might be the best quarterback in the league now.
The Ravens shipped Chris Wormley to the Pittsburgh Steelers in a rare trade between AFC North rivals. So Chris Wormley goes to Pittsburgh for a 2021 seventh-round pick. And – oh, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Chris Wormley and a 2021 seventh-round pick goes to Pittsburgh for a 2021 fifth-round pick. I think Pittsburgh won that deal for sure. They didn't have to give up much, and they got a good pass rusher. And they got a seventh-round pick out of it. I mean, it's just kind of adding to the deal. I don't mind that at all. I also agree with and we'll talk about this with the next Steelers edition, but The grade was C+ for the Ravens, B- for the Steelers. I do believe that the Steelers did well in this trade. Like I said, good pass rusher. They didn't have to give up much, and they needed to replace some people after losing some. So mainly to Philadelphia, unfortunately. But boys, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I think it's a good move for the Steelers. I think the thing they really need to be focusing on, I mean, always shoring up your defense is a good idea, but
Yeah,
they need to – it's proven your depth of quarterbacks you have is not great.
it's not at all.
So I would be really heavy on the free agency market trying to get someone to back up Ben, just in case the elbow is not correct and not ready, that you can have someone that can step in and run the system. And they should be doing that now
Yeah.
so he can at
We
least
should have done it
start
last year,
seeing
man.
the playbook and doing stuff like that. Because, again, the amount of quarterbacks that are sitting out there right now is incredible.
Last year would have been such a good time, too, because we would have had time to really work these quarterbacks into the system because we weren't going anywhere last year.
Mhm.
Yep, and the Rona is not helping with being able to
It is not. Ronies.
The Ronies. I mean, yeah, you guys added to a defense that's already pretty nasty.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, they weren't hurting there last year by any means.
Yeah.
And you got the other Watt
It
brother.
was really just a replacement. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like
Imagine if
Wormley-
we got JJ.
Wormley definitely isn't the level of Hargraves is, but TJ Watt's I guess projection of greatness.
He's always going up.
If he takes it up another notch next year, I don't think it's gonna matter.
And that can make Wormley a better player too, because if your attention's being taken away by TJ Watt, then
He's
all
going
of
to
a
come
sudden
through.
Wormley
Also,
looks like
on
an
the
actual
on the
player.
JJ Watt thing, Kevin, knowing Bill O'Brien, there is a chance that you could get JJ
Well,
Watt
Brett-
for
All
like
you
a
have to
fifth
do is
round
trade him a
pick.
fifth round pick.
Brett
and
Kiesel,
tacos.
Brett Kiesel, one of our legends, wore number 99, and he tweeted out the other day. He was like, "Hey, JJ, number 99 is open if you want it." And JJ's response was great. He was just like, it's not even about that. It's more so that now I'm losing the favorite uncle race, and my parents are going to be Steelers fans because now they have 2 kids on the Steelers.
Oh,
So
and
they're
guess
not
what?
gonna care
Guess
about
what
me at
games
all.
they're going to? They're going to the Steelers games because they can see 2 out of their 3 kids.
Right, exactly. It's like they're not going to come to Houston. But yeah, the other move the Steelers made, which I love, Eric Ebron, tight end, coming to the Steelers for a 2-year, $12 million deal. This is awesome. Big Ben loves being able to throw the tight end position. When he had Heath Miller as a security blanket, he was at his best. He's always got a way to get the ball off when he's got a good tight end. So Eric Ebron is one of those guys. He can have suspect hands at times, but he's really solid generally. Definitely better than Vance McDonald. Although in Vance's defense, he didn't get much of an opportunity last year. But Eric Ebron is a very welcome addition in Pittsburgh.
I just think it depends on what Ebron you get.
Yeah,
if it's the
I
guy that
agree.
shows up and plays, because he's had some off years. But for the money you gave him, dude, that's a
so
steal.
solid. That's so
such a
solid.
steal.
Yeah, he's often injured, but you're not paying him a ton. I would hate this deal if you were paying him $4 million more a year.
Right,
but,
like a Melvin
but
Gordon deal.
the deal that you have right now is just it's so inconsequential as far as money wise for what he could be if he returns that 13 touchdown in one season type
Yeah.
of Ebron, which I think that if Ben's healthy in that type of offense, I think that's where Ebron could.
Oh, he'll
kill
be
it there.
huge. Yeah.
If he stays
think-
healthy too.
Any thoughts on that?
What?
Oh my God, we're moving on. All right.
What?
Saints keep offensive guard Andres Pete in place with a 5-year deal. And of course, we know that Drew Brees decided to stay in the league and will be leading them for another 2 years, I believe, on that deal. Saints, are they in place for another run here?
Yes.
The window's still open.
Yes.
I think so. They haven't lost enough for me to think they aren't.
I'm sure we'll talk about it later, but they added
Yeah.
another player that will make me cry.
I'm
Oh.
so upset about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Malcolm Jenkins. Yeah, we'll get into that.
Literally the only good player on the Eagles defense other than Fletcher
Dude, that
Cox.
is not what you hear if you read about the locker room situation. That is not.
Oh,
what you hear
no.
whatsoever.
Personality-wise, he's garbage in that locker room.
He's not though?
He is,
Read about
though.
it, dude. Read about it.
He
He's a
absolutely
cancer.
is, though.
He is a cancer. We'll get to it. We'll get to
Well,
it.
you
Cancer.
listening to-
You guys were
you
Orlando
listening to Orlando
Scandrick fans
Scandrick?
over here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, I'm not
Yeah,
listening to Orlando Scandrick. I don't trust anything he says. He can't make up his mind who he hates.
Just because the guy knelt for some rag that we fly around.
Oh my God! Here we go. All right, the
Now we're all
Bears.
mad about
Safety
it.
Deion Bush for the Bears reaches an agreement on a 1-year deal. Also, the Jacksonville Jaguars traded Nick Foles to the Chicago Bears,
The quarterback that was there when they had the double doink.
who,
Yes.
who will most likely be in the running for that starting job, of course, against Mitchell Trubisky.
I don't know why Jacksonville got rid of him,
The elite
Well, they want to go all in on Minshew, who has
which I'm
yeah.
all for.
doesn't
Like,
he have
as
the
a fan.
coronavirus?
Huh?
Doesn't Minshew have the coronavirus too?
I think Minshew's the one who originated the coronavirus, if I'm being honest.
I have a theory about where that actually came
was in his
from. I think
mustache.
it did come
Yeah.
from the Jaguars organization.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I think that's great though for the Bears. They didn't have to pay much for Nick Foles, and now they have a guy that they can put in there to either. It's good either way. They're either going to push Trubisky to be, I don't know, a good starting quarterback, or Trubisky's finally going to lose the job and it's going to go over to Foles. But it all depends.
Dude, I think you put Trubisky in the Patriot system, and he's a decent quarterback.
They should have got.
I think you put
Foles
a
on
lot
the
of people in
Patriots.
there and they can be good just because.
No, I don't think Cam Newton steps into that spot in VC.
No, sure.
I
Sure.
think him and Belichick would have a blowout fist fight the first game, and Belichick would rip off his sweatshirt and just have a six-pack, and that would be the end.
Well,
of it.
boys, we're about to get to my favorite team
Fully
in the
oiled.
free agent market, the Houston Texans.
Oh,
Good old
sweet
Billy
Jesus.
O'Brien.
Sweet
Bill
Jesus.
O'Brien, and yes, it's true, traded one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver to the Arizona Cardinals for an injured David Johnson. I just
Wait, no. Get it all right. I think he traded. Was
and a
it-
bunch of draft picks, right?
It was DeAndre Hopkins in a fourth,
and they
for
got
David
Johnson in
Johnson
the fifth.
a 2020 second and a 2021 fourth.
How does Stephon Diggs command a first-round pick, but Hopkins doesn't get it?
And you're swapping players. You're swapping a perennial just superstar all the time for a running back that could be a superstar but is constantly injured.
No, here's the thing with that. This is what bothered me the most. Like the whole argument was whatever was said between him and Brian. That no one's confirmed that yet of exactly what was said. But he wanted more money. So even if you gave him the contract and halfway through the season you're still not getting along, you could trade him because people are willing to eat that contract to have him.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, you could have gotten.
And he's still
So
going to
many
produce,
teams.
and then you can get first-round picks.
The freaking Eagles had a shot at him. Why not? Why did we not get him?
He also had a shot at Julio Jones, apparently.
if that's all Arizona had to give up, imagine what we could have offered.
I think that Bill O'Brien gave him away to like an inconsequential franchise, not a Super Bowl contending franchise, and I understand that.
I'll tell you what, though, that offense is going to be high-powered now. With
Arizona?
Kyler Murray.
Unless they
Larry
they
Fitzgerald.
need an offensive line. They need to get an
Yeah.
offensive line.
Kyler Murray's
we-
got to
can
have
we
time
s-
to throw.
Can we stay on the Texans
At
for a
least
little
he's
bit?
mobile, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then after trading DeAndre Hopkins away, their solution at wide receiver right now is Randall Cobb. 3 years,
And-
$27 million.
And
That
to
was
overpay
absurd.
Randall Cobb. And to overpay Randall Cobb.
You paid a Randall Cobb salary from 5 years ago that he didn't deserve then. Like,
He's
my
he's a
goodness.
slot receiver. He's not
Yeah.
Hopkins. Like,
No. He's not a deep threat at all. And I mean, you got to feel bad for just for that whole offense, because you literally just took the life out of that offense. You took the deep threat. You took all the playmaking ability. I mean, it's just the Texans are not going to be a
I
playoff
mean,
contender.
they're
this year.
arguing that they want to go full on Will Fuller.
But
he
he's
can't
hurt
stay healthy.
But he's
Every
always hurt.
single week.
Will Fuller was good because of Hopkins. He was open.
Wait, it's Fuller and who's the other guy?
Kenny
QT?
Stills.
Kenny Stills.
Stills.
Kenny
They're
Stills.
both hurt all the time.
Well, they
Both
also
could
have
be very
Kiki
good,
QT. Don't forget about
Kiki.
And he's
QT.
hurt
Yeah,
too.
but here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Unless O'Brien knows something about the draft, He's literally better. Again, it's a receiver-heavy draft, but there's nobody that's that level of talent coming out of the gate. I'm sorry.
No, and the thing is,
I
there's
don't-
not a better receiver in the NFL than DeAndre Hopkins, period. I don't even want to hear Michael Thomas at this point. Because DeAndre Hopkins kept the same level of productivity
Julio
with
Jones
Tom
is a
Savage.
much better receiver.
No, he's not.
I don't think so.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
He
No, he's not.
absolutely is.
Not now.
Everything together,
Not
I don't
now.
What do you
think.
mean not now?
I think, first of all, okay, take the last 5 years. The argument was always between Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins. Hopkins has been the most consistent over that period of
With
time.
worse, Brock Osweiler, Tom Savage. He's doing it. Freaking Sage Rose. No, not Sage Rosenfels, but Ryan Fitzpatrick. He was doing it with garbage quarterbacks every year, and then
Yeah.
he finally got a half decent one, Deshaun Watson, and kept doing it. He's
Poor Deshaun Watson, by the way. Feel bad for him.
Though I don't think the Texans have a first-round pick either. No, they don't because they traded
They
their
traded,
first-round pick
yeah.
for Laramie Tunsil. So they don't even have a
Oh,
first-round pick.
right.
Gas
Oh,
man.
Which they didn't re-sign yet.
right.
Which they
true.
didn't re-sign yet.
Oh, my God. I didn't even think about that. They haven't re-signed Laramie Tunsil.
they're gonna trade him for
Oh.
sign and trade for 7th round pick.
This is when every team should be just floating trade options to the Texans, being like, hey, man, how about like a pack of cigarettes and a concession stand worker? For Tunsil, yeah, all right. They're just in that mode right now. Just start floating some ideas to them. Okay. Buccaneers give Tom Brady some protection and sign O-lineman Joe Haig. I'm telling you right now, the addition of Tom Brady, even how old he is, has now made the Buccaneers an NFC favorite because of the explosive nature that offense already had with a 30-for-30 quarterback. This guy now they're going to add to the O-line. People are going to want to keep coming to Tampa Bay. My God, can you imagine if they would have gotten like Gurley too or something like that? Oh, sweet Jesus.
Paul, if they would have, that would have been interesting.
But like Buccaneers now, you've got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and OJ Howard. Like, dude, this is going to be a team to watch. MJ Billy can finally be excited about the Bucs this season.
They could get Antonio Brown too.
They're not. Arians
They're-
already said he's not getting.
Yeah. You think Bruce Arians, the guy that didn't like working with him in Pittsburgh, is going to bring him in?
And I don't think he fits into that dynamic of receivers
No.
they have.
Plus, they've already got great receivers. They don't.
My
need it.
issue with this Bucks team, though, is the fact that when we make fun of Jameis Winston, he threw a lot of interceptions. He did have the most yards. Like he was.
If he could just be consistent.
If Tom Brady throws for 4,500 yards and 40 touchdowns this year, they still have to have a defense to.
They don't have it.
Oh, no. Stop right there.
Chiefs, dude.
Jameis Winston's interceptions caused them to have the worst starting field position as a defense throughout the whole league. There's
True.
multiple games where they had leads, and he just
Also,
threw
you're
back-to-back interceptions.
Your
Multiple
defending
games where he
Super Bowl
started.
champions did not have an elite defense.
Ooh.
So let's be clear on that too.
What?
The Chiefs won without a great defense.
Without a great defense, I'm saying though it has to be not bad, and I don't think their defense is that good. I don't see anyone on their.
Yeah, but I don't think it's not it's not that
I don't
bad
think it's
either.
detrimental. Yeah,
Mm,
they were.
Yeah.
MJ's right. They were put in a garbage position all year.
Dude,
by
there
those
was multiple
interceptions.
games where the first pass of the game he threw an interception or a pick six.
Pick six. Yeah.
he scored touchdowns for both teams sometimes. Guys. That's what we have to
I
pay
think his
attention to.
last throw as a Buccaneers was
Yeah,
for a pick
pick six.
six.
I
So
think his
was
first one
Brady's
too.
last throw as a Patriot.
Yeah, but the 6 Super Bowls before that helped numb the pain a little bit.
Yeah, well,
I think Tampa Bay becomes a good divisional round team.
wow. I think they. Put
I don't
a
think
little
they're a
bit more
Super Bowl
than that.
contender.
Just because of that
I think
offense,
they're a
man.
Super Bowl contender. Also, we don't know what players they're going to sign still. There's been a bunch of rumors that players are willing to take
People
discounts
want
to
to
go play
go.
there.
Yeah.
If you
People
sign a
wanna go.
defense, like some serious talent
Well,
on
here's the
defense, I think
thing.
are good.
You can tell the Buccaneers are trying to piece this together the right way. They
Mhm.
went out, they got Brady, and now they got an O lineman to add some protection. They're probably going to get more. So the
They
Buccaneers
need a
have a
running
plan
back
here.
too.
They do, but I also think that they, like MJ said, they are going to get these guys that want to play there. Like, can you imagine if they brought the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the Super Bowl this year and won in Tampa? It'd be the first team that ever won a home Super Bowl. Brady would just add to his insane historic resume.
And I think that OJ Howard's going to be freaking Gronk
Yeah, he's going to
this
be
year. It's
a
going to be
monster.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. So you guys love the signing for Tom Brady, obviously?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a great move for him.
It's a great move for
both.
him.
And I don't think it was that much money. I really
No.
don't.
No,
I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch the first 4 games of the season though without being like, is this like someone's Madden like fantasy draft team that they did?
they
Where
put
you
Tom
turn off
Brady.
salary cap and you're like, no, I can get Tom Brady and Mike Evans. It's fine.
Yeah, I got to tell you, that is really weird when a guy has played 20 years in an organization and then is like, I'm going to go to Tampa.
Oh, dude, and the Patriots have nothing.
No. Can we all take a moment
And
and
they'll
just
be
be
AFC.
thankful that dynasty is over?
Are we
Whoa,
sure?
whoa,
though?
whoa, whoa. Let's-
Are we sure?
No, never.
Over.
Is Belichick still the coach? He's going to come draft time.
Belichick
Find
done that,
19
Brady.
players you've never heard of from
Yep.
schools that don't exist.
And listen,
Middle
Jarrett
Tennessee
Stidham's
State
been
for one.
sitting behind Tom Brady, and he's just been in the wing, just waiting. Jarrett Stidham is going to come out here, or they're going to get like Eason or something in the draft, and just
You don't think the Patriots are going to try to
for
trade up?
Tua. No, they're not going to.
Speaking of trading up, though,
no.
we'll talk about that with Tua or Burrow. The Dolphins are trying to make a push. But the Falcons agreed to terms with running back Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley posted a hilarious Instagram post, by the way, saying, man, I got fired during a pandemic after he was released by the Los
He got
Angeles
fired
Rams.
on his day off.
I'm on his day off, yeah. And so really, really quick turnaround, though. Got a 1-year deal done with Atlanta, like, immediately, going back to Georgia. So I think this is a great move for the Falcons. They've had Devonta Freeman, who's always hurt. Now, Todd Gurley can also be always hurt. But Todd Gurley is an upgrade for sure. And I don't think that they paid too much for him. So I think that it's a good fit in Atlanta. And, I mean, add to that offense. That offense has always been so good, and yet they can't go anywhere. Because either Matt Ryan's inconsistent or their defensive players get hurt the first game of the year. Like, that team has the more bad
They
luck.
play
Them
the
and
Eagles
Saints.
every first game of the year, and for some reason they always get so
Their
hurt.
cornerbacks get ruined.
Deion Jones every year, Keanu Neal every year. It's
Yeah.
just like,
It's bad.
Also, can we talk about the rumored trade that got immediately shot down? But
The Julio Jones.
hey, there was
Yes.
a couple hours where I was
Yeah.
just
I was all for that trade.
raging.
All
Like,
for
Who
that.
wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be?
Ertz for Jones, take him. Bye-bye.
That's perfect.
Yeah,
we have
immediately.
Goddard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ertz was offered the same contract Hooper just got, and he turned it down. So he wants more money than that. So bye-bye. Bye. Like, we have Goddard in the back, and then you're gonna give Wentz Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I know we haven't gone to the Eagles yet, but if you're noticing a pattern, Howie Roseman is basically saying, "Okay, we'll run your contract out, but once you hit like 32, bye." So, like,
Yeah.
literally, it doesn't matter. I just because again, they let
with Jason
Jenkins
Peters.
go.
Garbage.
Well, we'll get to them. We'll get
Yeah.
to the Eagles.
Anyway,
Ha Clinton Dix reaches a deal with the
Watch it.
Cowboys.
sorry.
Also, speaking of the Cowboys, Dak Prescott getting franchise tagged after turning down quite a generous offer from Dallas.
What they
Um,
offer him?
Oh, let me look it up. But it was not bad.
5-year, 5-year deal, upwards of $35 million guaranteed,
Yeah.
like per year.
No, what was the fully guaranteed number?
One 160 something.
160? Wait, no.
You're just making stuff up as you open your mouth.
What?
I don't know.
Deal is reportedly around $34 million annually. That's all I can.
Oh, they haven't released what the guaranteed money was. That's the problem.
105. So yeah, Cowboys offered Dak
400
Prescott $105 million guaranteed.
Oh.
That's
Yeah, I'm not saying
barely.
that.
Why? He's not worth that much more.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
He's not.
He's better than Wentz. Yes, he is.
Oh.
Okay. LeBron versus MJ.
He's better. Here's why he's better than Wentz.
How is he better? Okay.
All right, he's healthier. He's played more playoff games. He's been more consistent. And wasn't he offensive rookie of the year his first year? Was he not? Am I making that up?
Did he have an MVP season? Cut short
What,
by a
in
freak
11
injury that
games?
would never
11
happen.
games?
Hmm?
In 11 games?
Listen, that's how you win MVPs, all right? Derrick Rose could tell you that.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
on your
you.
side on this one.
No, he deserves. He deserves the way the market's going to go, the way the cap's going to go up. He deserves to be paid more than Goff and Wentz.
Yes, but they're getting paid
He
like
doesn't deserve to get paid
26
more than
million a
Carson
year.
Wentz.
Or, I mean, I think that's fine, but I think it's because the Eagles were smart enough to pay him earlier, and the Cowboys put themselves in this stupid position, and now he's going to play even better this year, and then they're going to have to pay him next year. Super incredible match.
Yeah, I don't think he holds out at all. I think he.
No, I think he's going to hold out.
I think
I
he
do
eats
too.
it. I think
Oh.
he eats it.
He's going to hold out. What? You saw? He's going to
think he
hold out.
eats it.
He saw Ezekiel Elliott hold out and get paid like
I mean,
like
it
a lot.
depends if
I
he
got
cares
paid a
about
lot.
winning or getting paid. I
Exactly.
feel like he has more of a winning attitude. But if not, then I mean, I'm happy to have him hold out and them not make the playoffs.
Amari Cooper, though, didn't he ink a 5-year extension? Is that what it was?
Yeah, that was
100
another
million.
That's
rumored
overpaid.
Eagles pick.
Oh, that was overpaid.
I
5
mean, it's
years,
good that they
100
locked him up, though. It's good that they locked him up. They needed him. What else? What else did they have to throw to? They needed him. And Jason Witten left.
Obviously, they could have went and got Hopkins. Anyone could have went and got
Apparently,
Hopkins.
we all could have. Stefan Wisniewski goes to the Steelers. Again, I think that's a good one. I think that's nice to add him to the offensive line. Since we lost B.J. Finney. Safety
Yeah,
Adrian
Wentz is
Phillips
good.
on his way to the Patriots.
Means nothing.
Yeah. Joe Thomas resigns with the Cowboys. I think that's big. Giants QB Colt McCoy agree on a 1-year deal. That's
Doesn't matter because Danny Dimes is out there slanging.
yeah.
Dude, that
1-year
guy
deal
is
for
so much fun.
1.5 mil guaranteed. The Browns added veteran cornerback Kevin Johnson, which I think is a pretty nice add. But again, with all the additions the Browns have put in, even on that offense, yet again, I'm going to say it, they are not worth discussing in any playoff light until they actually prove they can win games. We saw how good they are on paper. They are trash when they get on the
overpaid
field.
for Hooper. They well overpaid
Yeah,
for
but
Austin.
they
Hooper.
needed him too.
Well, they're really going to need him when OBJ gets traded again. So they're not going to have anyone other than Jarvis. Can we talk about the reason why on this article the Eagles headline is in like just regular print for some reason, but every other one is giant?
Oh, yeah, it is.
What is this garbage? It's like, oh yeah, Darius Slay. Trade for-
Speaking of Darius Slay going to the Eagles,
That was so needed. So needed.
you know, we were joking around in our group chat because I laughed so hard when you guys didn't get Chris Harris. I was like, oh my God, you're really not going for anybody here. And then finally, a 3-year deal with Darius Slay. That was exactly what Philadelphia needed to have happen. Good deal, great player, and he's going to be a nice addition to get rid of some of that burnt
Yeah,
toast.
but Carson Wentz still has no one to throw the ball to.
Well, we'll get there. I think we'll get there. I really do.
You're not getting OBJ.
I was just glad that we didn't have to, trade the farm for Darius Slay.
Mhm.
I thought we were going to have to do that, but as soon as I saw the Lions pick up Trufant, I knew we wouldn't have to pay a lot for him.
And I think so. If we're talking about the Birds here, they got. Are we gonna wait for that?
No, talk about the
Javon-
Birds.
Javon Hargrave from the Steelers. So everyone was saying that wasn't a great pickup
That's a
because
great pickup.
we already have D-line. The reason the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2017 was having a good offensive line and having literally a rotation at defensive line. Chris Long, coming off the bench, so to speak, basically, and coming in and making huge plays during the playoffs. Like the fact that they're going to have that rotation at D-line, if they keep Malik Jackson and you got Hargrave, Malik Jackson,
And let me tell you, as a Steelers
Cox.
fan, I'm mourning that loss. Javon Hargrave was a huge part of our defensive line. So that's really great that you guys
Wait,
were able to-
Robbie Anderson's still a free agent?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I'm saying.
Why haven't we gone and got him?
I don't know if anyone's really. Yeah, I think that we're gonna on the offensive side. Defensively though, I think with Slay, you finally have a lockdown corner. We're gonna have a giant advantage at D line. We just need linebackers and receivers, and I feel like we're good.
Here's
We
what I
need
think the
running
Eagles
back.
are going to do.
I don't know if you do.
We need running back depth. We need someone
We
to.
got
We
Boston Scott. Don't worry about it.
Oh, no.
It's all good.
need
You
depth.
see that little bowling ball running around last year?
I wouldn't be surprised if Howie
You'll
brings
get
back
Darren
one.
Sproles to come out of retirement.
No,
bring back McCoy?
they'll just sign McCoy back for a year.
Wait, Sanders is
retirement.
available too? Why don't we go get him?
Who?
Emmanuel Sanders.
I feel like
No,
he'd demand too much money.
Yeah.
I think what the Eagles are going to do is they want to see if Alshon Jeffrey can play,
Ugh.
and then try to
What
trade
about the
him.
rest
this
of the
season.
receivers.
What about
No,
the locker room
see,
cancer?
they want to try to. No one. I'm assuming no one wants to trade for Alshon Jeffrey right now.
I wouldn't.
So, in cutting him right now, literally we lose like $20 million in cap space, dead money. So what I think they're going to do is they're try to get him healthy, have him play, and then trade him at the trade deadline.
Why? He's
That's
not
why-
going to play that well.
I don't disagree with you,
I
but
think
I'm just
they
saying
cut
that's
I think they end up cutting him, eating dead money. I think that they ends up going
you
into the
have to.
season with I think you end up going into the season with Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
I think I think they're going to my prediction is they don't trade for OBJ. They lose out on Robbie Anderson and we get someone like a Brashad Perryman or something. And then I think that the Eagles trade up in the draft. I think they use their wealth at defensive line, trade Malik Jackson, trade up in the draft, and go after like a Lamb, CeeDee Lamb. Or,
Judy.
By the way, can we
Jared
just
Judy.
say I bet
try
Deshaun
to just
Jackson
get young.
wishes he was still in Tampa Bay.
Does he though? Because
No, I
he
don't
played
know.
one game with the Birds last year and had 2 bomb touchdowns. So just get ready.
But he'll
for
get to
that,
play with a
boys.
playoff quarterback.
Yeah, well, at least
Yeah,
Carson Wentz doesn't
one that
kiss his
stays
son
healthy.
right on the mouth.
One that stays
At least
healthy.
Carson Wentz.
That's a shocker.
Doesn't
Yeah,
kiss
remember when he
his son on
shattered
the
his
mouth.
leg and they changed all the rules in the NFL because of it? He gets one boo-boo on his leg, and then all of a sudden the entire NFL changes.
See, I don't think the Eagles are going to sign a free agent wide receiver because they're also going to want to try to give
No, but Justin say he'll get it through the draft.
Arcega Whiteside some run as well because we put a
Hey,
second or third round pick in
If
there.
you say his name,
Arcega.
they should. The worst. Why are we so bad at drafting receivers? Why are we? God, dude, who was the guy?
He was
Oh,
taken.
that
He was
DK
taken.
Metcalf.
But he was
DK
taken
Metcalf.
Metcalf. He was how? Wait, wasn't he also?
And I was at the playoff game
Wait.
against the Seahawks where Metcalf was grabbing balls with his feet for some
But
reason.
Steelers draft quarterbacks just as bad as the Eagles draft wide receivers.
Wait,
It's
who's the other guy?
truly a nightmare.
For the Niners.
2004, really.
Who's the guy in the Niners?
Debo Samuel.
Debo, I love him.
Didn't he go down in the bottom of the first round?
Mm-hmm.
I
But
love
Yes.
at
him.
least we got freaking J.J. Arcega-Whiteside to catch 3 balls and drop a game-winning touchdown against Detroit.
Oh, and also is Nelson Aguilar still on the Eagles?
No, he's a free agent.
Thank
Yeah,
God.
free agent. That
Thank
they're not bringing
God.
back.
I've never seen so many winning game balls dropped.
Like
We get rid of Nelly and we get rid of Alshon Jeffrey. The locker room cancers are all out. We
You
replace
hope.
them with receivers that can't catch, even more than they can't, and it's all good.
See, but here's the thing. Like, I also think they are going to. It's hard because now they also need safety. Like they let
Do they
Malcolm
not?
Jenkins go. Yeah,
Which
you
is
want Jalen
fine.
Mills at this?
Which is
You want
fine
Jalen
because he
Mills as
got
safety?
burned all last year.
Yeah, and the thing is,
You rather have Jalen Mills as a safety?
I don't know if I don't.
I'd rather
I think
have not either of them.
give him run.
I'm not overpaying to keep Malcolm Jenkins.
Yeah, I don't. You're not paying Jalen Mills that much, and I think that Malcolm
We were
Jenkins-
paying him more than the Saints are paying him now.
Yeah, the Saints are actually paying him less.
Yeah, well, no. Did you see what happened though? Malcolm Jenkins was demanding $13.5 million a year from the Eagles and took a pay cut to go to the Saints. He was literally demanding for us to pay him like an insane amount of we weren't going to be able to afford it, and he's getting older. Like, I don't like it because he was one of my favorite Eagles like in the past few years here, but yeah, at some point you get too old.
Wow, Kiko Alonso is still in the NFL. How about that?
No, don't do that again. Remember what
Oh,
happened
remember
last time?
that? Chip
We traded LaShawn McCoy
in his prime.
straight up. No one ever traded players straight up.
Wait, no, and you traded him for a guy that had not played the season before because of an
Yeah,
ACL.
his ACL was. Ah,
Chip Kelly.
Jesus.
We love you.
All right, the Carolina Panthers, boys, they landed Keith Kirkwood, wide receiver, on a 1-year deal, but more importantly, got Teddy Bridgewater in there, some bad blood with Cam Newton, apparently Cam Newton feels blindsided that he wanted to stay in Carolina. I don't know. I think that's a bunch of crap, but I think Cam Newton's kind of talking out his other, But
How do
His
we feel
ass,
about that?
Kevin. We can say ass. Good God.
You know what else we can say? Bring
No.
up Sandberg, I'll let
No.
you know.
No, don't you dare say
hey,
it.
but I think that Teddy Bridgewater definitely deserving of this opportunity in Carolina, and I think he's a good fit there.
How do the rest of you feel about this?
I think that's a good pickup for Carolina.
What's wrong with Teddy Bridgewater?
I think Teddy
Good
Bridgewater is
quarterback.
fine.
He was winning in Minnesota, and then he got hurt, and then they just moved on. And then when he steps in for the Saints, they went 5-1 or 6-0. Or
Yeah,
no,
but I
5-0,
think
5-0.
that had a lot more to do with the fact that the Saints were a ready-made team.
Still, you got to be the field general out there.
Yeah, and you're stepping into you're stepping into big shoes that can't be filled. A guy that had barely any reps, like
One more time, and I throw out the word.
listen here, you Von Druk.
What are they doing with
No, hold on, you guys are freezing. Stop talking. Hold on, stop
Kyle
talking.
Allen?
You stop talking.
Stop
You-
talking.
We're fine.
Your
I'm
internet
fine
connection
over
is unstable.
here.
Okay, there we. Oh no, doing it again.
You're unstable.
MJ, it's working for us.
I don't know what the
I'm
problem
leaving all
is.
this in here.
Okay,
I'm gonna
we
have to take over recording duties again. All right.
No, wait. So Teddy Bridgewater, dude, I don't like it. I'm gonna just say it. I don't like it.
Why?
Not a big fan of it. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't love it.
Tell us
I
why.
feel like to get rid of Cam Newton to get Teddy Bridgewater, I don't think you get better. I think Cam Newton's better than Teddy Bridgewater by like a lot. All right, never mind. The dog disagrees. It's fine.
That was Nora. She did not like what you said.
She's like, no.
I mean, you have injury concerns with Cam Newton.
And Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, he's
Hasn't been
fine
injured
for the
since
past-
that injury.
But it was a bad one.
Dude, Cam Newton's ankle still isn't fixed. This is 2 seasons now.
Yeah, his ankle
Yeah,
isn't fixed.
he's
since he
kind of
didn't
damaged
dive on
goods
the ball.
anymore.
And he's a physical quarterback. He can't keep doing that. And that's the only thing he knows how to do.
Yeah,
They gave Bridgewater a 3-year, $63 million contract.
That's a great deal.
$33 million guaranteed.
that's good for both parties. Absolutely. They didn't break the bank on him, and Bridgewater got a pay raise.
Oh, I just love Cam so much.
What are they doing with Kyle Allen though? Are they
Who
keeping him?
cares? Who cares?
Put him as a backup. He's
Yeah,
a solid. He's
he's
one of the
not-
better backups in football.
He's
Keep
not
him.
a starter, that's for sure.
Yeah. But the last thing I want to talk about, boys, is this idea of the Miami Dolphins starting to build a bit more of a football team, but they're going to need a quarterback.
Wait,
What?
Kev,
What?
are we just going to blow over the steal that the Colts got?
With
Rivers for $25 million with that offense? The
I'm
only
not
reason
that-
they were bad last year is because literally every wide receiver got hurt.
I'm not that crazy about it, honestly. I think Phillip Rivers has been struggling a lot lately. He's been throwing more picks the older he gets.
he's not good. But look at the line he's going to have now. He's going to have one of the best
No, I
offensive
agree.
lines in football.
I'm sure he'll be better, but it's not something I'm super.
I think that's a great pickup. $25 million for Rivers for a year. If it doesn't work, you move on.
Oh
If it
no, yeah,
works-
no, money wise, absolutely great deal.
No,
yeah.
you can't move on. You can't move a family of 17 out to Indianapolis.
Yeah,
to then
speaking of,
move
they all
on.
can't live in the same house right now. You're only allowed to have 10 people.
Oh, no.
So
didn't
he's
think
going to
about
have
that.
to send some of those kids away.
Dude, there's a great meme from The Office where they're all like this, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh.
This is like the best time for memes, by the way.
Sorry, Kev, Miami.
Yeah, so Miami, they're going to need a quarterback, though, to lead the way since they got rid of Ryan Tannehill, who, by the way, great deal for Tennessee. I think that's an awesome
Trash
pickup
deal.
for them.
Hate it.
You're trash.
I
But,
don't know how you pay him and you franchise tag Henry.
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense.
that is hilarious.
that
honestly,
makes
but
no
it's-
sense to me.
Insanity. The guy that won you the games. You paid him
And who
the
doesn't
amount
have a lot of
millions.
miles on him. He has 2 1,000-yard seasons in a row. Prior to that, he was really trying to get his legs under him, so he doesn't have a ton of wear and tear. Like, that's a guy you could have just paid and been done with.
True,
For
but I
Tannehill,
think
they're
I
like,
think
how
people
many-
are just owners and GMs are starting to get scared of like the whole running back, wear and tear.
As
Well,
they should.
the way the contracts are set up now, you don't have to pay him. Think about it. what's his name? Max Kellerman said it. God, I hate agreeing with him, but he said it correctly. He's like, you pick a running back on his rookie contract, you make him play his whole contract out. If he's good, that takes him to what, age 24? I think it's a 4-year contract. No, 26.
25. Yeah.
25, 26.
Yep.
You franchise tag him once, it takes him 27. You franchise tag him again, it takes him 28. At that point, he's going to be worn out if you've been using him. So then you go ahead and test the free agent market.
Yeah.
And you look at all the past Super Bowl winners from the past however many years. Damian Williams isn't a super high paid guy,
Nope.
and he's their best. They had him committee, Patriots committee, Eagles committee, Patriots committee.
Yeah.
That's the way to go. It doesn't
Yeah.
make sense to pay running backs anymore.
No, it really does. Unless you're Christian McCaffrey, because he's going to get paid.
Yeah. They decided to pay Ryan Tannehill the same amount of millions as he throws yards per game.
Hey, they needed a guy to steady the ship, and he was far better than Mariota. All right. The Miami Dolphins are going to need a guy behind center to put this thing together and get the gears rolling in Miami. Obviously, they still need some more pieces, and I think they will get some more. They've been making some smart moves. However, what's the better fit, boys? Tua or Joe Burrow? Assuming they could trade up and have an opportunity to get both, which one would be better in Miami? If he's healthy, I'll start. I think Tua. I think that's the kind of offense they're gonna run.
Well, actually, I'm going to go with Burrow, in all honesty. Especially if, they're going to be I think, with them signing Jordan Howard to a 2-year, $10 million deal, I think they're going to go with the ground and pound sort of approach. You still have what's the wide receiver?
Devontae Parker.
Yeah. I think ball, throw it up to Parker. Play.
Tua's accurate though too.
He is, but I just feel that I think Tua is more of a scrambler.
Yeah,
like
but they could run
a
a speed offense, and I think that may be something that Miami's looking to do.
Well, they can run a speed offense with Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
They could,
Yeah.
but not to the effect I think of Tua. And not saying that Burrow you couldn't do it. I'm just saying I think that's what Tua's built for. I
don't think they signed Howard to do that though.
I don't know.
I mean, wait, you're saying they could trade up to number 1? I don't know if they can.
There's
I
been a
think
lot
they
of
might be able to
rumors
get up there.
about
They have 3 picks in the first round. So
I just don't
I
think the
guess we could
Bengals want to
Cincinnati all 3.
let that go. And I think Joe Burrow, I mean, isn't he from Ohio?
Yeah, but
think
even he
so,
doesn't
yeah.
want to play in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
No, I think he does. I think he was saying he does want to play in Cincinnati.
That's because he had to redact what he was saying about not wanting to play there.
It's
Dalton,
not like an Eli Manning thing.
is Dalton officially gone from there?
I would assume so, yes.
Dalton should get picked up
Is
by
he a
New
free
England.
agent? Is he a free agent?
Because if Dalton's a free agent, he should go to New
No,
England.
he
or
has 1
something.
year left on his deal, but they'll trade him away to get rid of it.
He should go to New England, man. That would be a great fit.
Oh, no,
But my
dude,
thought is
Stafford to New England.
But
Either
interesting question though. If you had Ryan Finley, so they're back up now, would you go Ryan Finley and draft a Jacob Eason or Jake Fromm or something later in the draft if you're Cincinnati to get all 3 of Miami's? If you could get Miami's
true.
5th and 18th,
That's true.
is it worth being
Ooh.
we'll take a quarterback at 18
Yeah.
and then
You
get
can
a
still
guy
get a
at
solid
5 as well?
replacement. Yeah.
So now Cincinnati can have AJ Green, put CeeDee Lamb or something,
Yeah.
and get a.
Oh man,
Quarterback
that's a really good point. I think that could be really good for Cincinnati, who
do
needs
you-
more than just a QB.
Do you
Or,
think Joe
you know-
Burrow's elite enough that did he just benefit from being? Is he a great college quarterback? We've seen him play 13
Well,
games.
and here's the thing: I also don't want to see another great quarterback go into a crap team and then lose his career.
True.
Because I don't want to see him go in there and just get overwhelmed and blown out, and people be like, he's garbage. It's no, you threw him into Cincinnati with,
The other side of that though with Cincinnati though is they have Mixon, AJ Green.
They do have AJ
They're
Green.
about as ready
Whoa,
made.
slow down on the AJ Green thing. He was hurt all last year. Is he
Plus,
gonna
they
be
don't
the
really
same?
have an
And
offensive
he's
line.
what, 33 now,
He
32?
is Jay Green. It's just a quarter of AJ Green. He is Jay
They don't
Green.
really have an O-line either. So, I mean, it's not a great situation.
Oh yeah, it's
but,
true. He'll
But,
get
I mean,
busted.
I think, man, Justin, that's a really compelling argument.
But if you
because-
have Tyler Boyd,
yeah,
maybe AJ Green, definitely John Ross, definitely Joe Mixon,
and then you
like,
get
you got
Eason,
weapons.
but
More
you could get
weapons than
Eason
Miami has.
and then add another receiver and then maybe an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
man.
you can even sign. With that, they can even sign Mariota to a 1-year
Yeah. You
prove
could.
it deal.
No, Mario's with the Raiders.
Oh, he signed.
Oh, that's right.
Oh.
Yeah.
What free
But there's
agencies
still
are
plen-
still
there-
available?
There's Winston's still
PJ
available.
Walker.
Stop that. Winston's still available.
Winston, that's
pe-
solid.
People that are looking for trades, Cam Newton's available.
Newton in Cincinnati. Oh, it'd be so
Who
weird.
else? Who else?
I wouldn't want to see him in the AFC North.
Oh, I
Honestly.
actually wouldn't mind seeing Newton in Cincinnati. I think that'd be a decent fit.
You'd have three teams in the AFC North with running quarterbacks, and then us with Stonewall Jackson back there.
It is a
Cam
weird.
Newton-
It's a weird team. It's a weird thing when you're like looking at a team that has the first round pick and also looking at that offense and being like, you put 2 more pieces on this thing and they become like a playoff team maybe.
Oh, hey, Justin, you know who's available? Elite Joe Flacco is still available.
Oh
He
my
is.
god!
I think his career's over. I think he
back to the
retires
AFC
soon.
North.
I think he retires soon. He failed a physical, so I don't know what that's all about. But I don't.
All
I
you
don't
gotta
think
do
he
is
plays
turn and
again.
cough.
I don't think he plays again.
No,
I think his
or-
brother Tom Flacco
Oh, sweet Jesus.
If we
from the Towson Tigers
no.
comes in and shows why he's the elite
How
Flacco.
did we let this happen?
It always circles back to this. It always circles back to Towson.
Hail to the Towson Tigers. All right. So yeah, no, I agree though. I think that could be a really cool move if the Dolphins do end up giving all 3 of those picks. That might be enough for the Bengals to be like, yeah, we should do that.
I still think damn it. I think Burrow's the way to go in Miami. Because anyone that says he was just a player in the moment with having all the talent he had around him, you could say the same exact thing about Tua.
You could say that about a lot of QBs.
Tua
in the
did
NFL.
it for multiple years, though.
Yeah, but he
I
had
mean,
the
with the
number
best-
1 players around him every single year. Alabama's where everybody goes. It's
And I mean,
Clemson
it's
or
not-
Alabama. Like Trevor
Jalen
Lawrence.
Hurts wasn't doing it too.
Yeah,
Except in
Jalen.
the end of that game, except end of the championship or beginning of the championship game, he wasn't doing it and lost
Yeah.
his job because of it.
And then he goes to Oklahoma and crushes it. So, I mean, I still think you go I think it's Burrow. Tua just has too many injuries. I wouldn't trust. I wouldn't put all my – if that's what you tanked last year for and made all those moves on a guy that might not be able to play once he gets drilled one time by a 300-pound DN that's running a 4.5.
Yeah.
All of it could go to moot anyway if the Redskins pull what the Cardinals did, because there's rumors that
That's true.
Rivera wants Tua at number 2.
Ooh, that wouldn't
Which
be a bad move.
but that doesn't make sense to me. You've tried to put all this stock in Dwayne Haskins, and I mean, did they trade up for him or
No.
I mean,
So that's the whole thing is there. The owner wanted Haskins. None of the
Okay.
coaching staff did. They proved that all of last year when they didn't want him. You bring in a
Got
brand new
fired.
coaching staff that has no allegiance to Haskins. They didn't draft him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think the Redskins have so much other problems that they need to address than their quarterback. I think you
I
need
mean,
to
look
give at
at-
least Haskins a chance.
Do you
Dude,
think
the only good-
Do you think the Cardinals made the mistake of
No,
Uh,
Kyler Murray was great.
so?
Kyler Murray was great. Are you comparing Kyler Murray to?
No, I'm
Dwayne
just saying. Would the Redskins be wrong in taking a QB at number 2?
I
Well,
don't
it
think
was a different situation though. The Cardinals needed a quarterback. They had
Yeah, Josh
Rosen.
Rosen.
I don't know
which
that
was
the
a waste.
Redskins don't though.
no, but they never gave Rosen a chance either, Kev.
But he got a chance in Miami, and he was garbage.
on
Did he get a chance, though?
terrible Miami team.
Yeah, I
He was
feel
on
like he didn't have
Later.
that much of a chance. And then they put Fitzpatrick in there, and I mean,
Later,
It's magic,
I'm talking
baby.
about at the time. at the time, Rosen showed some signs throughout the year, but then
he's in the same spot Haskins is in right now.
yes,
He started a couple games his rookie year, showed some promise, but then Cliff Kingsbury's like, no, I want this guy. So they dump Rosen. So Rivera could do the same thing. I don't care if he showed promise. I want this guy. And Haskins could be shipped to a garbage team and look bad again. That's the thing you're worried about with Burrow. Burrow goes to Cincinnati, looks terrible. His confidence is done. They dump him. He ends up somewhere else, and he's not good. He goes from one bad team to the next. Because that's what Rosen did. He went from the horrible Cardinals to the horrible Dolphins.
Yeah. There's a bigger risk in drafting a guy 1 and him being horrible instead of like Josh Rosen at whatever he was, 9, I think it was, maybe.
Yeah.
It's just crazy how big of a difference there is. Like if Joe Burrow busts, that's a problem.
All right, boys. Well, let's go ahead and give our last things last here. Anthony, since you're our guest, we'll start with you. What's your last things last for this week?
My last things last is going to go again towards the Eagles, and again with Howie Roseman. You better know. I hope you know what you're doing, Howie, because you don't. You say what you want to say about Malcolm, but he was a leader of the team. And it's very, very hard to find a replacement of a leader of that caliber. You saw what happened when we let Dawkins go. It crippled our defense for years. And it wasn't until Malcolm came in that we actually had sort of a semblance of a defense. Because Fletcher, I love Fletcher, but he's not a leader. I don't see Fletcher as a leader. I thought it was all Malcolm.
Malcolm Jenkins wasn't that much of a leader either.
He was.
He totally was. And so I just
typewriter.
No, it's Anthony clicking his god.
It sounds like a microphone. I'm waiting for the.
Sorry, I'm over here. I'm taking the meeting notes.
Sorry, but yeah, no, I hope you know what you're doing. That's all I'm saying. Howie, I hope you know what you're doing.
Justin, what's yours?
We weren't giving Jenkins $13.5 million. It just wasn't happening.
Yeah, no, that's where I was so sad about Jenkins leaving, and then I saw a report that said that he was looking for $13.5 million a year, and I was like, wow. That sucks.
Not happening.
No, thank you. Can't do that. Can't. Do
Justin, what's your last things last for us?
My last things last is I have been campaigning year after year after year for Major League Baseball to shorten their season. And coronavirus did it for us. It did it for us. It did a beautiful thing for the Major League Baseball season. If it's 90 games, we're going to see. I think people will be more excited about baseball. I really do. I'm already excited about it. I'm already excited about it.
MJ, and I thought about you. It was a guy wearing an Orioles hat, and it's like, you can't lose 100 games if you don't play 100 games.
Exactly.
Big brain.
I actually had 2 last things last, though. If we could all just take a moment of silence, because I believe yesterday was supposed to be the first day of March Madness. So just
I honestly forgot.
You what?
I honestly forgot about March Madness.
I had a bookie call me to make sure I was okay.
Yeah.
This whole thing with the virus is just such a constant now that it's just I don't remember anything outside of this.
I called multiple hotlines.
MJ, what's your last things last?
It has to do with all sports. People need to calm down when they're like, oh my gosh, a Major League Baseball, an NHL, or NBA player caught coronavirus. They are people, human beings, just like everyone else, that are susceptible to the same thing.
Yep.
They travel more. Why is it a major Oh, Kevin Durant has it. Okay. Hey, you look at all these guys, the condition their bodies are in, the health they have, the access to medical professionals, the access to tests they have, which seem to be missing throughout the country. Calm down. They're going to be okay. Like it's like today. Oh, 2 Lakers caught it. We don't even know who they are. It doesn't matter. They're going to be fine. You're not in the NBA with some sort of condition that may kill you. I'm sorry. Like I look at Marcus Smart coming out. Like all these guys are giving interviews. It should be taken seriously, absolutely. But they look fine. And again, they're still human beings just like everyone else. They're going to get sick. And with the amount of traveling exposure to people they had, it's going to happen. So everyone just calm down when famous people get it. It's not the end of the world. I'm seeing people on Twitter, and it's just like, he doesn't have AIDS. Like, what is the big freak out here?
And even if he does, he's a celebrity. He'll get over it.
Magic Johnson, I think, has beaten it somehow. I really do.
My last is most of the United States sports teams, USA Swimming is one of the latest that came out today saying pushing for the Olympics to be pushed back. A lot of people have talked about canceling them altogether until next year. But
I don't think they can do that.
I'm not sure they can either, because
I think the bylaw says if it doesn't happen that year, it's canceled till 2024.
Yeah. I do hope that they just push it back, push it to August. It can go into September. It's not a big deal. But like, I definitely want to see our athletes compete. They've been working for 4 years. A lot of these athletes, like, especially in the sports that aren't like broadcast, like track, swimming, all these ones, these athletes come out of college and all they do is start training for the Olympics.
Oh yeah.
Like, they go away.
It's literally all they do.
Like David Nolan from Hershey.
And that's the only time to get paid, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that's
they
your
don't
window to
make
get
money.
paid. That's your window for all those years you put in. The early morning trainings, the diets, like that 1 month window in the lead up to that 1 month is the only time you're getting paid.
Yep.
So no, it needs to happen because a lot of these guys have invested thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah, and they go to these top facilities to train for years. So I mean, you just want to see it happen for people like that. And also, I mean, it's just, I think once we get out of this coronavirus thing, I think everyone's going to need the Olympics. So it's going to be one of those things we need, just this huge conglomerate of sports happening right now. Tokyo.
Tokyo,
agree.
China. No.
I agree with that. My only concern is for one of the biggest draws of the Summer Olympics is the basketball. If the NBA decides to,
Kevin, 3,000%.
No, it's not, because USA always wins. It's not a
don't
draw.
always win.
No, the USA hasn't won since 2012.
Shows how much I care.
They did.
I mean, that means only
they
one.
didn't play.
Basketball is now especially in Asia. Basketball is on a massive global scale.
Yeah, so like
it's the water polo.
In 2016, they played
That is
college
fun.
students and got like bronze. But anyway,
Yeah, we got booty blasted.
yeah. But here's the thing. My only concern is if the NBA is going to finish their season, it's just gonna. I don't think players from us are going, like the NBA players are going to play.
No,
Why?
I don't think they will either.
Wait, for what?
They've had months off. Why wouldn't they play?
You think the NBA season?
Because the NBA playoffs is going to go over top of it.
I think
I don't know
they're
if
going to
they're
cancel.
gonna do that.
I think they're going to cancel the end of the regular season.
Because
Yeah.
you get too
There
close to
was
the beginning of the
19 games
next
left?
NBA season. Yeah.
There was
NHL
19
for
games
sure
left.
will. NHL is going to be done too.
Thank God Detroit could be out of their misery.
No,
Let's
I mean,
cancel it.
All right, the Flyers had one
wait,
chance.
That's assuming that we're starting them in June.
MJ, not only does Detroit get put out of their misery, but the Flyers, who were on a hot streak, now can't see it through to the end. Double whammy.
Again, we're assuming that we're starting them in June.
If people would just stay in their
Dude,
damn
it's not
houses,
going to be
we might,
done by
we
June.
might be able to start in June. But oh my gosh, you can finally be the lazy piece of crap you are, and you don't want to stay inside. I don't understand that.
There we go. Oh, and he's gone.
There he is.
he's
All right,
back.
let's end this. Guys, this is a great podcast.
Hey.
We'll see you next time.
See you
Bye.
next time.
Stay
Jesus.
safe. See ya.
MJ.